We are live once again. And I really, like, I truly did not really want to make a video on this, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what? It's part of like my life. It's part of an issue that's affecting me. Um, but I will say it right now. Anti-cheat is broken. It's just straight up broken across the board. And what I mean by that is I'm experiencing, a ban from PUBG. So it's PUBG's a battle royale style game, online, strictly online. Matches 100 players on a map. First one to survive all 100 players is the winner, right? And they call it a chicken dinner. So it's like a big deal. People get excited about it. And I got banned again. And I've never been banned. So I own the game for going on 9 years now. I think my 9-year anniversary is coming up. The game's been out for like 9 years, a little over 9 years. I paid, I think, $39 for it because it used to be for sale. Now it's free. But I got banned a second time, and it's the second time I've ever been banned in that game. The first time was like literally a week ago, like a week and a half ago, and then the second time was like a couple days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, what is going on here? Like, something is going wrong. And I kind of did a little research. I was like racking my brain. I was like, what is going on? Because I don't use cheats in the game. And I was talking to one of my friends, and it's like somebody's rage reporting you, dude. Somebody's mad at you. Like, you're a streamer now. You're getting a little bit more popular. So somebody is, hell bent on getting you banned, and they're just rage reporting you. I mean, I suppose that could be one of the reasons why I'm getting banned. However, if that was true, like, I watch, Hollywood Bob stream daily, almost daily, and then I watch, players like Dr. Disrespect, Average Sniper. I think there's one, Dan UD. She's pretty good, and they're not getting like any type of bans. I think some of them have been banned before too, and they've been like false banned. So because I don't think they were cheating. I just think they're like really good at the game, and that's another issue. Is when you get really good at a game and you play for a few hours a day, and other gamers aren't playing that long. Maybe they're playing a few hours a week. They're probably going to think you're cheating because you became good at the game. I consider myself good at PUBG. I don't consider myself great. I'm not an esports player. Probably never will be. If I ever become an esports pro at PUBG, I will be like, holy crap, this is a dream. This isn't real. That's just where my head's at, because I look at players like TGLTN, Dan UD, and I'm like, these guys, if anybody would be accused of cheating, it'd be them, surely. I don't think they are, right? They look good. And that's the problem. I said, I don't think they are. And apparently cheating has been so rampant on these online games that nobody trusts anybody. And that's what I am seeing. That's what I have gathered. Nobody trusts anybody anymore. And people that are good are getting falsely banned. And then people that I would call them average. They log in a couple times a week like a normal human being, right? And they're getting like owned. And then they're like, that guy's cheating. That guy's cheating. So it's like they think everybody's cheating that's owning them. And then there's the players that are really good that are getting they're getting banned or falsely banned. And I kind of like, it was racking my brain, and I kind of did some research on this to be like, why that, like, what happened that I got a 3-day ban. Apparently like 3-day bans in PUBG is like them going, hey, we noticed some oddities, and we're going to research it. And those oddities could be people just like reporting you like crazy. Like, you just get so many reports in a row, or so many reports in a time frame given, that eventually it triggers their anti-cheat, right? Because they have to look into it. And that's why they give you like a 3-day ban. That's as far as I know. And then there's another type of ban for 3 days where they could detect potential software that's that the player is using to gain a competitive advantage, such as like there's like aimbot, there's like wall hacks. Gosh, there's like other things I don't really know everything it does. I saw an interesting video this morning where somebody was showing a cheat where everyone's giant on the screen, and like only the player can see these giant characters, and essentially their hitbox enlarges. So you're going to be able to shoot people behind that are hidden, behind walls, because the character that the player is using that's the cheater is going to be able to hit them in an arm that you think you have hidden. I don't know. It's really bizarre. And it's kind of crazy coming from a player, like from my perspective. So I know there's cheaters out there. I've been cheated on, clear as day, especially in the beginning. Now it's more of like, am I getting cheated on? It's like I start questioning it. However, when PUBG first came out, there was a dude standing underneath the map shooting at me across the map. Like, that's how bad it was. And then they would go to his like kill cam, and they were like standing under the map shooting at me, and I'm like, what is happening? And they weren't even on the same side as the map as me. So I was like, what the hell? That was blatant. And the PUBG has an anti cheat problem right now, where, and I think a lot of other first person shooters have anti cheat problems where people are just exploiting cheats. They're putting cheats on their computer, and the players that are legitimate are feeling it. However, it seems like it's getting so bad that the player base doesn't even trust each other anymore, and then the anti cheat doesn't even trust you anymore. So this is a dev letter from PUBG dating back February 11th of this year, and they even admitted the anti-cheat is at the point where there's a potential for false bans. That's how bad cheating is getting, and I had no idea that's how bad it was getting. And it kind of sucks. And I was watching this video too where like apparently people are creating like duplicate PUBG accounts and going AFK and just to like build points or something. I don't know what they're doing, and it's just getting so bad that even the anti-cheat system is having a potential for false bans. So it says, during the process of detecting players who use illegal software, we have identified cases in which certain legitimate gameplay patterns may be incorrectly flagged as suspicious behavior. We are refining our detection criteria and verification process to ensure that our anti-cheat systems and detection frameworks do not negatively impact fair players. So that's interesting. This is, something I found. So even PUBG's admitting their anti-cheat isn't perfect, which I don't expect it to be. I expect it to be, I don't know, like perfect enough maybe. And I feel like there needs to be a better way. And what I noticed also with my ban is they are unable to even point me in the right direction. There's no like sheet they gave me like, hey, here's some of the products we've identified in the past. Make sure you don't have these on your computer. So with that being said, I was like, man, what do I have on my computer? I was like, I started really thinking about it. And I'm like, I have a program called Logitech gaming software that's super old. And I didn't know this until I looked it up. Let me see. But I actually, you go down the Reddit hole. I wasn't using G-Hub. I was using gaming software. So I was using an older version of Logitech gaming software. And this was interesting. And I like immediately, this was like, I thought about this at like midnight and immediately went downstairs, turned on my computer. I was like, do I have an older version of Logitech gaming software? I think I might. Because I looked it up. I was kind of looking up at all the programs that were launching with my computer just to be like, is it triggering a false ban? It could be, right? I don't know if this is the answer, but I did have a Logitech gaming software. I guess that's the old version. And I installed this when I got my keyboard and mouse, and I just kept using it. I didn't even think anything of it. It wasn't giving me like pop-ups saying you need to update. So I didn't know, like, but apparently the new version is G-Hub, okay? And there's a scripting and macro trigger. I don't use scripting in macros, so I don't have any of this kind of stuff. But there's something on here that may have set it off, and I'm trying to find it on here. There's like a certain driver that the old Logitech gaming software uses. And let's see. Here it is. So I put modern So there's a certain .dll file, like something in the kernel, lcore, and that could trigger the anti-cheat. So I was kind of looking at this. It says modern kernel level anti-cheats like Vanguard, Battle Eye is what PUBG uses, block legacy LGS hook and lcore exe drivers because their outdated code execution behaviors mimic rootkits and contain known exploitable security vulnerabilities. That's interesting. So it says vulnerable driver architecture lcore.exe is the core process of the deprecated Logitech gaming software. That's what I was running. It relies on older low-level window API hooks to handle macro execution. I wasn't using macro, but I think it still runs these in the background. Profile switching and input simulation. So there is a possibility that it was triggering the anti-cheat just by somehow registering my input. I don't know exactly how it works. Cheaters frequently exploit old legitimate sign drivers like legacy Logitech or MSI components to bypass Windows signature. DLL injection. So LGS hook functions by injecting itself into running applications to detect when a game launches. So there is a possibility some of these legacy drivers were causing their anti-cheat, and I find it interesting. The cheat detection went off after their last update, so they must have tightened it. However, it's like I feel like the PUBG developers should have created a list of saying, "Hey, these are some of the things we added. You need to update your stuff," and they can't even provide that, which is wrong on their end. It says how to fix the conflict. I did all this. I removed Logitech gaming software. I updated the modern G Hub. So I use all Logitech products, keyboard, mouse, and headset. So I updated everything. I used the modern G Hub. And I made sure that I made sure that I was running off onboard memory on my mouse. So my mouse has onboard memory to like save my, cursor speed and like my mouse speed and settings and DPI. So I made sure to do all that. I made sure that all macros, there was not even a single macros on there. Like they're all off. I don't run macros. I don't do that on my mouse and keyboard. And I don't know if your headset can do it, but I don't run anything like that. I don't run any crazy drivers. I even went into the registry and deleted old registry remnants of this. As far as I know, I went in there and I kind of ran down the list. And there's a guy in here saying, this guy thinks his G Hub's reporting false positives. Everyone, there's a lot of people that have got banned. So I'm not the only one. This is from 1 month ago. What can trigger repeated 72-hour ban restrictions besides cheats or macros? See, as I'm posting here, I'm not getting any meaningful help from PUBG support. And by the way, I sent PUBG another email, and they just gave me a canned response. It was literally the same email response as last time they gave me, so I'm not gonna like put that on here. I pretty much told them like, look, I'm not cheating. Like, can you pinpoint me in the right direction? And I'm sorry if their software cannot pinpoint me in the right direction and be like, we noticed this was running. That's kind of like, that's bad. And I was thinking at the very least, they can have a software that as gamers we can run before we launch our game to make sure everything's legitimate. I don't know. These anti-cheats they're not really working the way they're intending. So this guy's saying I have no cheats, no macros, no scripts, no recoil tools, no auto clicker. So this sounds like me, right? Closed all unrelated background apps. I did that. He literally recorded his screen before he even played. He has videos of it. Despite this clean setup and normal gameplay, I still received another 72-hour ban. PUBG keeps replying with the same template response. This is happening to me. And everyone, a lot of people are replying. My friends having the same issue. Looks like it's a bug with their anti-cheat or something. Anyone's saying this is normal, getting results too many players report is wrong. Thank you for your reply. At least you let me know that I'm not alone. I got a 72-hour ban because I was holding down the honk button on the Harley. See, that's crazy. I have the same problem, and until now it didn't fix. I also have 2 Steam accounts. He's saying his main account only got 72-hour ban repeatedly. My second account didn't. So he's literally launching his same Steam account on his same computer, but he has 2 accounts. I don't know how people have 2 accounts. I only have 1. I don't think I'll ever get a second account. Um, this guy's like, I'm still facing the same problem too. I just received the 9th 72-hour ban. I tried everything possible to keep my desktop. I don't know. It's like, it's so weird. So a lot of other people are having the same. See, this guy, and then people are skeptical, which they should be, right? Because you're used to like anti-cheat, maybe supposed to be like doing their job and actually being legitimate. This guy's like, do you have any unusual peripherals or really uncommon brands? He's like, not really, just a keyboard, Razer mouse, and a headset, and Dell webcam. This guy says, try reinstalling Battleline, maybe PUBG 2. I did that. I actually uninstalled PUBG and I reinstalled it onto a different drive. So hopefully that fixes it. But if it doesn't, I'm kind of in this boat now where I don't think I'm gonna play PUBG until they have another like major update. And if I do play PUBG, it'll be like a maybe a single session and then take like a week off. But I feel like I should stop playing right now until they get this figured out, or at least like another major update comes out. I don't know. It's kind of weird, you know, live streaming and then having your band show up in your live stream, and it's just like I try to explain to them like it's just not cool, like what's happening. This guy said this happened to me a few years ago when I started playing after a long hiatus. Came back with a lot better aim. Got a 72-hour ban pretty much once a week for 2 months. It just suddenly stopped, and I haven't gotten a ban since. So I'm guessing, you know, and another part of me is like, I guess a ban now just comes with the territory. Just keep getting banned for 72 hours and just keep appealing, because you're like, hey, dude, like, what are you doing? I have this all on video. I believe all temp bans are simply from going over a certain threshold of user reports. Yeah, it could be. Coupled with some other voodoo behind the scenes. I don't know. When my friend moved cross country, he started getting temp bans for a while. Again, they just suddenly stopped. So I think the answer for me is just keep reporting my bans and just letting them know, hey, I'm not cheating once again. Can we figure this out? This guy's like, PUBG support is BS. Their system can't flag anything, otherwise obvious cheaters would be banned. You know, this guy suggests a dual boot to avoid their anti-cheat, whatever. It's defective by design. PUBG devs would rather slap excessive temporary bans without any explanation. Yeah, they don't give you any explanation. Yeah. This guy's like, just played 3 games after the second 72-hour ban and then got another 72-hour ban. That sounds like me. I played solo and killed a bunch of bots. There are only a few real poop around, 10 people. I don't know why it happened. Yeah, something's terribly wrong with their anti-cheat. And it's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you start getting really good at the game, people are like, you're cheating. And I even tried this. So I tried to launch Warzone, and it said I needed secure boot. And it also said I needed TPM 2.0. Apparently, I didn't have secure boot enabled. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe that was what PUBG was detecting, but they won't tell me. So I did do that. I actually made sure my system's launching in secure boot and TPM 2.0. Honestly, like, props to Warzone for detecting that and letting me know I wasn't running secure boot, because I thought I was, actually. I thought I already did that, but I guess I wasn't. So I did that. I asked this question: can OBS Studio, that's what I use for my broadcasting software, can OBS Studio cause anti-cheat? Or yeah, cause anti-cheat. And I have my OBS Studio plugins are strictly browser based. And the only one that's not is I have a streamer. There's a streamer plugin that I use for dual streaming. So that's pretty much all effectively it does is shoot out another stream. It says the browser-based plugins are safe. So that's what I use. I use, what do I use? I use Streamlab. What's it called again? Caster Labs to do my dual chat, so I can see my YouTube chat and my Twitch chat. And I'm glad I did that, because my YouTube chat sometimes goes off and then my Twitch chat's dead, or it's the other way around. My Twitch chat goes off and then it's my YouTube chat is dead. But so I made sure they're all browser based, and even Streamlabs is a browser based. It doesn't overlay on the live stream when somebody subscribes. For, you know, either they subscribe to Twitch or YouTube. The YouTube one for some reason doesn't seem like it's working. Ko-Fi is browser based too. And I even asked, can Caster Labs, the program itself, trigger anti-cheat in PUBG? And it says no, it will not. So that's good. And I believe these game companies, PUBG, they whitelist, you know, companies like Caster Labs because they know what they do. So they're not gonna like have Caster Labs trigger a anti-cheat unless, you know, something bad happens. But yeah, so it looks like either I came to the conclusion either somebody's rage reporting me. Um, this is kind of what I came up with. So they have admitted that there is a potential for false bans. That's good that they admitted it. Because that's what's happening to me and a lot of other players. And obviously, it sucks because the people that are legitimately cheating, like that sucks, man. Like, why are you doing that? First of all, and like, I don't understand it. It creates a terrible game environment for the people that are legitimately using this software and like ruining the game environment for everybody else. You know, another conclusion, you know, it is a false ban. However, it's like, what was causing my ban? Was it software? Was it rage reporting? You know, was it it's not my antivirus because I made sure that PUBG was added to the exclusion list. Was it a corrupt BattleEye install? So I reinstalled it. So when I get unbanned again, I don't even know when I get unbanned. I think it's the 12th. Let me check the email really quick. Because they did follow up, and when they followed up, they gave me the same dang response as last time. I'm like, oh crap! I thought, you know, maybe they were giving me like a legit response. So it looks like I'm going to be unbanned tomorrow. And I can tell you right now, I'm not in a hurry to play this game again. I'm just not. I'm not in a hurry to play PUBG again. I'm gonna kind of take it more easy because I feel like they need to fix their anti-cheat system, and it's too bad. I wish it was perfect. I wish it worked better than it did, because if it did, I wouldn't even be obviously having this conversation right now. But there's players getting affected by it that are competing fairly, and you know, there's also these players in the PUBG community that, because other players are better, they report them every time, and that sucks because it's almost like, well, what gives? I'm trying to be a competitive player, you know, and I'm trying to like be better, and it almost feels like I'm getting punished for getting better at the game because people are like, oh, he killed me and that shouldn't have happened, and I'm like, well, I wasn't doing anything, sorry dude, I just killed you, like, you know. And I feel like the community for battle royale games, people don't trust anything anymore. Arc Raiders is having big issues right now, and it's like, what are these, like, there's got to be a way to prevent these developers from screwing up games and creating these cheats for them. And I hope the answer isn't cloud computing, because there's lag involved in that right now, and that just that might be the only answer, but there's lag involved, and that would I don't know. That would just sounds like a nightmare, you know. But that's pretty much all I have on that, is just kind of going over, you know, that PUBG admitted that there's a potential for false bans, and then kind of what I did to like try to, hopefully it doesn't trigger it again. And I think it's important to just keep appealing. Give him all your information. Just keep appealing, because at the end of the day, they're going to figure this out eventually. It's just right now they haven't. It's broken. The community is very divided right now. Everyone thinks everyone is cheating. Nobody trusts anybody. There's got to be a better way to verify, and PUBG's got to do a better way of giving their user base, at the very least, more guidance on how to prevent these measures, or at least steering them in the right direction. Because if you can't even steer me in the right direction, and you're accusing some of your player base and giving them false bans, that's wrong, because you're telling somebody, hey, we detected unusual patterns, but you can't even steer them in the right direction at all. You can't give them a list of software like, hey, we've blacklisted these softwares, make sure they're not running at all. Like, even the old version of Logitech gaming software, make sure that's not running, because if it is, it could trigger an anti-cheat, because unfortunately some of our, you know, some of these cheaters and hackers out there exploited these programs, and you're still running it. And I get it, you know, I understand right now, but I think my position going forward is just know that they're having an issue with their anti-cheat. I'm glad they're trying to do something about it, but at the end of the day, if it's affecting legitimate players, it sucks. But at the end of the day, I think I will play the game now expecting a 72-hour ban until it stops, like that one guy was saying. He said he spent 10 months getting 72-hour bans before it stopped. And I think just keep repeating, keep appealing it. You know, if you're playing legitimately, and then just get through it. It sounds like it eventually will stop. It's just a pain in the butt right now. So, but that's all I have on that.